Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of our brand new podcast titled Unshaken, where we are going to be talking all things confidence, mental health, emotional health, pregnancy, a lot of things. Basically, the point of this podcast is just to educate you and to help you, whether you're walking through a chaotic season, whether you're walking through a brand new season, whatever that looks like, we want to be here to help educate you. But today, we are not talking about pregnancy by any means. We are going to be talking about relationship green versus red flags. My name is Evie Schuessler, and I am the marketing coordinator here at the Pregnancy Center, and let's dive in. So whether you're married, whether you're dating, whether you're single, sit back, relax. It's going to be a great time, and let's dive in. Let's talk red flags. Our first red flag for today is controlling behavior. An example of controlling behavior is if your partner micromanages every single thing that you try to do. An example of controlling behavior is you want to go out to dinner with your friends, and your partner doesn't want you to go out because that there are going to be people of the opposite sex present at dinner. So he or she says that they'd rather you stay home because they don't want you to be out with the opposite sex. This is obviously very controlling. You are your own person and you deserve to go out to dinner, and your partner should not be controlling you in this way. However, if your partner does have concerns about you flirting or not flirting with the opposite sex, there should be a conversation had rather than them trying to control what you do or don't do. Our second red flag is extreme jealousy. They constantly question your actions. They accuse you of cheating. They're jealous when you go out with your friends, whatever that looks like. They're just always extremely jealous of you. A practical example of this could be that you go up to order Starbucks and somebody from the opposite gender is taking your order, and then you say thank you or you're very polite or whatever that looks like, and you walk back to the table and your partner scolds you for however you behaved with that barista. That is your partner being extremely jealous, and this is a red flag. Again, if you're flirting with the barista, that is a different story. I'm talking about just being kind, polite, etc. The third red flag is gaslighting. We all know this one. This is when they make you doubt your own feelings or they make you doubt your own thoughts, memories, etc. They say things like, that never happened, or you're too sensitive. Things like that. A practical example of this could be if you ask to do something for Valentine's Day and they say that's a made-up holiday or not everyone celebrates Valentine's Day, etc. And so therefore you don't get to celebrate Valentine's Day. If you feel that your partner is constantly making you doubt what you believe or your memories, then they are trying to gaslight you, and this is a red flag and should be taken seriously. Another red flag is lack of respect for boundaries. If you and your partner set strict emotional, physical, mental, whatever that is, boundaries, and they are constantly trying to near that line or step over that line, this is a red flag. A practical example of this could be that you decide that you don't want to have sex until marriage, but every time that you're together alone, they're constantly trying to push you, they're constantly asking you, they're constantly pressuring you, whatever that is, and they have no respect for the boundaries you've set. Or maybe you set a boundary that after class, you just want to go back to your dorm and have some alone time. And they're constantly calling you, they're constantly texting you and saying that you shouldn't have alone time because you're dating or you're married or whatever, and they want to be with you. That's no respect for your boundaries. This is also a red flag and should be taken seriously. Another red flag is frequent mood swings. They can go from being super loving to super angry really quickly. An example of this could be you're out with your friends and your partner is laughing, having a great time, and then as soon as you guys close the door and get in the car, it's like their mood switches, and then suddenly they're angry or they're mad or they're sassy or whatever it is, and you literally watch that mood change. Obviously, when you're out with people, maybe meeting them for the first time or meeting the parents, you're going to act a little different, but it shouldn't be an extreme mood switch where they go from acting one way to completely acting the opposite way. It can also work the other way around, where maybe when you're out with your friends, your partner is constantly messing with you or joking or mocking you, whatever that is, but then when the two of you are alone, they're acting super sweet and loving. There shouldn't be those crazy frequent mood swings. Ooh, Ooh, another red flag is blaming others for their problems. They never take responsibility for their own actions, and they always blame you or their ex or their friends or the circumstances, etc. An example of this could be that they have no money, yet they blame it on you because you are expensive, or you take all of their money, or they are constantly spending money on gifts and presents and dinner, therefore that they have no money and that it's all your fault. Blah, 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 blah. This is a red flag, and they should not be blaming other people or you for their own problems. Another red flag is lack of communication. We all know that clarity is kindness, and communication is a great thing. If they refuse to discuss problems, or they shut down conversations, or they give you the silent treatment, or as soon as the argument starts, they walk out of the room, this is a complete lack of communication, and they're not addressing things that maybe really should be addressed. This is a red flag. A practical example of this is that you're upset with one of their actions, yet they refuse to talk with you about it because either A, they didn't do it, or B, they refuse to believe that they did it, or C, they just don't want anything to escalate, so they just walk out of the conversation. The last red flag that we're going to be talking about today, obviously there are many, many red flags, is physical aggression, even in very small ways. This doesn't have to be pushing you against the wall. This doesn't have to be hitting you, slapping you. It doesn't have to be extreme. It could be very small. It could be that they're constantly throwing objects. It could be that you are not wanting to ever bring up a conversation because you're worried they might get super angry. A practical example could be that they're very frustrated about their day at work when you try to ask about it. So instead they start stomping around or throwing things around the room and are obviously very angry. This is also a red flag. Okay, now that we got those things out of the way, let's talk about some green flags, things that you should be looking for in a partner, or maybe you see in your partner that you have right now. The first green flag is healthy conflict resolution. They address disagreements calmly and respectfully without resorting to blame, yelling, or manipulation. A practical example of this could be that you guys are going out on a date night and you bicker about where you're going to eat that night, finally decide on a place, and then after dinner, they apologize to you for maybe the words that they said or for not agreeing, etc. Another green flag is mutual respect. They respect your decisions, they respect your boundaries, they respect your opinions, they respect your time, etc. A practical example of this could be that you had a really, really rough day at work and you ask if you can actually move your date night to a different night, and they are very understanding and try to talk through with you about your bad day and are there for you and try to comfort you, etc. Another green flag is that they encourage your growth. When you are succeeding at work, or if you're succeeding in working out, or if you're succeeding in painting, or whatever it may be, they encourage that and they're excited for you and they want that for you, and they are constantly encouraging you so that you feel supported in whatever endeavor you're trying to complete. Another green flag is that they respect your boundaries. They're never trying to push past or pressure you to do anything that you do not want to do. And as soon as a conversation is brought up about it, they respect it, they agree to it, and you move on. This is a green flag. Another green flag is that the trust is strong. You trust your partner. You know that if they say they're going away for a weekend, that there's not a single thing to worry about. You trust that whatever your partner is doing on their phone, whatever your partner is doing in their own time, that all of it you can trust, and that you don't have to second guess anything that they say, anything that they do, because you know that they are fully committed to you. Another green flag is that they are independent yet also connected to you. They have their own friends, they have their own job, they have their own hobbies. These are all good things. Obviously, you are dating / married / single, whatever that may look like, but you are still your own person. You still deserve to have your own time. You still deserve to have your own hobbies, to go out with your own friends. That doesn't mean that they can't be friends with you or that you can't share a hobby, but you want it so that you can be independent yet also connected, because you are your own person and you are designed on purpose and for a purpose, and you should be able to fulfill that purpose. Now, let's talk about if any of the red flags hit home today and you are noticing some of those in your partner. What should you do about it? If you are noticing red flags within your partner, please do not hesitate to start a discussion. Many people are very unaware of their habits or what is unintentionally harming you, and once you bring that up, maybe they'll change their ways. The first step is to acknowledge the red flags. Denial will not help. If multiple red flags are present, they need to take them seriously, and you need to take them seriously as well. The second thing to do is to seek outside perspective. Maybe ask your friends, hey, I've been noticing this in my partner. Have you noticed it as well? Or, hey, what do you really think about the way that he was talking to me the other night? Or she was talking to me the other night, etc. The third thing to do is to evaluate your own well-being. When you're with them, do you feel anxious? When you're with them, do you feel alone? When you're with them, do you feel scared? A relationship should bring peace and not constant stress or worry. The fourth thing that you should do is set boundaries. If you're not established or clear on leaving that relationship, then set some clear boundaries, and he or she should respect those boundaries. The fifth thing to do is to consider an exit plan. If the red flags are very serious, for example, abuse or complete lack of respect for who you are or your set boundaries, then you should prioritize your safety and plan a way out of this relationship. The last thing that you should do if you recognize any red flags is to recognize your worth. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, trust, and emotional safety. If your partner is not offering you that, you deserve better. On the flip side, if I named some of those green flags and you thought, wow, that is my partner, then I am so excited for you. That is what you deserve. Now, maybe you're single and you're listening to this and you're like, I'm not even dating anyone or I'm not even married to anyone. That's okay. Then take some of these green flags as things to look for in a future spouse or partner. And for the same thing for the red flags, if you're noticing these in your friends, if you're noticing these in the guy or girl that you're interested in, maybe take a step back and reevaluate why you like them or why you're pursuing them, etc. Know that my heart and your friends' hearts and your parents' hearts, etc., is simply for you to be loved because you are deserving of love and you are worthy to be loved, and we want that for you. If you are involved with someone who is very abusive or involved in a domestic violence relationship, we want you to know that help is available today. You can call this number 800-799-7233 and receive help. Again, the number is 800-799-7233. Please reach out if you are in need of help because nobody wants you to be in a relationship where you don't feel safe, where you don't feel comfortable, or maybe you feel that you can't even get out of if you tried. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to episode 1 of our brand new podcast titled Unshaken. I am just honored to be able to sit here with you and to discuss these things with you because they're ultimately very important, and know that we all want the best for you and for your partner as well. Thank you all for listening. We will see you in episode 2, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!